So welcome. This is the Google Ad Grants demo on how to use Google Ads for nonprofits. Real quick, who we are. Some of you are familiar with Project World Impact, but if you're not familiar, Project World Impact is the leading nonprofit hub providing innovative ways for people to connect with and support nonprofits. We are also Google certified and manage thousands of grants and have a special relationship with Google that we work closely with their ad grant team and work with them to always be improving the grants we manage. My name is Gabe Partain. I know it says Chris Lessner on it, and some of you know him, but I am leading the webinar today. I am a marketing executive and ad grant specialist at Project World Impact. So the basics. For those of you who do not know about Google, do not know about Google Ads or the ad grant, I'm going to run through real quick what it is, what it entails, what the rules are, and then I'm going to drive right into the demo and show you guys how to create your first search campaign. At the very end, we will have questions, so if you do have a question, save it and either put it on the side of the Uber conference and I'll get to it at the end, or at the end, feel free to ask any questions then. All right, so what is the Google Ad Grants? The Google Grants provides free Google Ads advertising up to $10,000 per month on Google search results pages. And this is eligible to any nonprofit. And the first step to do this, if you haven't applied yet, is to go to Google and type in Google Ad Grants program or Google Ad Grants, and the first thing you will see is apply. At Project World Impact, we do apply and have a great relationship with the grant team because we're certified. So if you don't have the Google Ad Grants, by the end of this, hopefully we can work with you to get you signed up, or you can go through Google. The reason why you'd want to sign up for the Ad Grant program is because you can drive thousands of visitors to your website. You can also increase donations through those visitors, reach untapped audiences, and discover who your audience is online. It does depend how well optimized your site is. So it can range from 500 website clicks to 10,000. And it also depends on how you manage your account, how much time you put into it. And today, hopefully, I give you some tips that will help you manage it and to drive those tens of thousands of new users to your site. So moving on, the Google Grant does have its stipulations. And I want to go over some of the basic rules. If you aren't familiar, if you are familiar, great. And then I will dive right into the demo. Follow the rules. So here are just some of the basic rules that you must follow, and feel free to take screenshots. This will also be recorded and sent to those who attended, so don't feel like you need to be taking extensive notes if you want to just listen. A daily budget limit of $329, which is equivalent to right around $10,000 a month. And so what that means is you get $10,000 a month to spend on Google search ads. And I'll show you in a second what that looks like. But for those of you who are new to Google, the way I like to explain it is basically you get a credit card or you get a gift card to, let's say, iTunes, and you get to spend all that money within a given month. And that's what Google gives nonprofits, and it equates to a daily budget of $329. With this Google Grant program, there are its limits, and a maximized cost per click limit of $2 per click when you use manual bidding. What this means is that the keywords you tell Google that you want to show your ad to, you only get to bid for $2. The next rule is specific geo-targeting, and I'll show you how to do this in the AdWords, but you must have geo-targeting. You also must have these next few things. You need at least 2 active ad groups per campaign, each containing a set of closely related keywords. No single keywords, so a keyword couldn't just be nonprofit. Google will flag that and actually deactivate your account if you do use single keywords. So you'd want to use what we term and what the industry terms is long tail keywords. And an example would be, instead of just nonprofit, it would be nonprofit focusing on after school programs near me, or a nonprofit program near me that focuses on after school programs. That would be an example of a long tail keyword instead of just a single keyword. And then within the ad group, you have to have 2 active text ads. And I will demonstrate that in a second. Next, you need to have 2 site link ad extensions. And this part is missed a lot, we see, with nonprofits and how they manage their grants. They forget to add these site links, and they significantly help with your click-through rate, but the ad grant program makes you have to, and if you don't, your account can be suspended. And if you're doing all those things and managing it well, you don't have to worry about this last rule. But at the end of the month, you must maintain a 5% click-through rate each month at the account level. And it's not per keyword, but the account level, you have to have a click-through rate of 5%. And hopefully through this demonstration, I'll give you some tips. And if you've got questions on how to improve that click-through rate, I'm happy to answer them at the end. Let's dive right into this demo. All right, so we are in Google Ads right now, and I created just a grant account. This is for the demo, and I'm going to show you how to create your first search campaign. But before I do that, I want to just show you what exactly you are looking at. And because for those of you who are new to Google, I just want to give a quick overview of what a search ad is. So when you type in running shoes, you see these things on the side that have ad next to it. These are what we would call search ads. And this is what you'll be making if you use a Google grant, this is what you will make. And you've got the title, and then you've got the description at the end. And it's both set to a number of characters, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But for those of you who are new, this is what a search ad looks like. Cool. Next step, and for those of you who have questions about getting the grant and how to apply for it, save those for the end, and we can go more into that. This is more of just a demonstration on how to set up your campaigns and how to actually create your first Google search ad campaign. So we are in the all campaigns in the campaign section. I'm going to click new campaign. Next, it gives you goals on what you want to tell Google what you want to be successful for you. And a lot of times it's website traffic. It can be you want to improve your donations. If you want to improve volunteers, it would be leads. But for this example, I'm going to use website traffic. Like I said, with the grant program, you can only do search ads. So we're going to create a search campaign. And we're just going to click continue. We're going to name this campaign test campaign. And we're only going to show on the search network because with the grant program, this is all you can show for. Next is an important part that is an opportunity missed on a lot of grant programs we see. And this is the geolocation that I mentioned earlier in the PowerPoint. This is typically, we recommend around a 25, 50-mile radius around your nonprofit and to target those keywords. And instead of targeting all of the United States, if you have a local nonprofit and you want to rank for local words and drive that traffic, and that traffic is people who are interested in maybe being volunteers or wanting to donate, we would recommend having a specific geolocation instead of doing just all of the United States. There are certain instances that the United States does apply. It's just harder to rank for words. So locally, if you've got the searches, and I'll show you in a second how to find those words, but locally, if you have a geo-targeting, it creates a target audience of only people that are searching for those words will only see your ads. Next, you can target specific languages. For this example, we're going to do English. And budget-wise, you can budget out depending on how successful your campaigns are. For this, I would do around $100, and we recommend creating around five to 8 campaigns depending on how well your campaigns are running, and then creating multiple ad groups. And I'll show you what the ad groups look like on the next step. Next, we're focusing on clicks and driving traffic to the site. And the maximum cost per click we're going to do is $2 because that's the limit Google will set you for the grant program. If you are looking to schedule your content, and give you an example of what we see a lot is nonprofits will want to schedule an event, and it'll be coming up soon. So an event would be something you'd want to schedule, and you can set what time of day you set it at, and then in the ad groups you can set how long you want to set it, and that's a unique feature that sometimes is missed in this step. I'll get into ad extension in a second, but I'm going to click continue. Next, we're in the ad group name, and what we'd like to do is go to your website and choose whatever your goals are. Choose your ad group campaign. So say you want to focus on donations. You'd want to call your campaign donations, and then within the ad groups, you'd want to have different ad groups focusing on different keywords. So whatever you call your name is based on what your goals are and what traffic you want to bring to your site. And then within the ad groups is different keywords around, we recommend 5 to 10 similar keywords that focus on the same goal and same landing page. So for this example, we're going to focus on donations, and we would want to do words around, let's just use Project World Impact for an example. We would want to do Project World Impact donations. And every time someone types that in, it's on the forefront of their mind because they type it in, and we are the first one that are gonna possibly show for that keyword. Not all the times you'll show first, but if you're optimizing your campaigns well, you can measure out the success on how well and which order you show up on the ads. So right now, Zappos is dominating the market by showing first, and I think that's true across the board if you type in shoes. So that's the first step of creating an ad group. And here, keyword types, keyword and exact match, phrase match, and broad match. We can go more into that at the end with some of your questions. But we recommend doing phrase match for a lot of your keywords. And what this means is that if you do broad match, Project World Impact donations near me, or Project World Impact donations, or impact donations, your ad's going to show up. That means you're going to get people going to your site that aren't necessarily interested in what you're showing. If you do phrase match, it limits the amount of people, and only people that type in Project World Impact donations today, or Project World Impact donations tomorrow, impact donations project, those ads will show up. And then if you do use exact match, that means only people who search this exact phrase, your ad's going to show up. And I think a lot of times money can be wasted or opportunity can be missed when people do the broad match, because you're getting clicks to your website or people who are searching for impact donations or just donations, and your ads are showing, but they're not necessarily interested in it because you set up broad match. Click Save and Continue, move on to the next step. Next, we're going to create the ad phase. And this is where you enter your URL, your headline 2, and you can enter in multiple descriptions. And if we go back to this example, this is your headline, and this is your description. Hey, can you, Harold, can you hold and let me finish to save any questions? Or sorry, I'll try to mute you, but I'm not seeing you on here. All right, I think we're good. Sorry about that. Still in the ad phase. So we're going to add our URL here, www.projectworldimpact.com, and a headline would be donations at Project World Impact. And see, the character count is only 30, so you have to watch your character count. So let's just do donations, and the second headline can be Project World Impact. and then your description can be anything you want your user to know. But this is typically what we say we want in the headline to be your keyword used. So if you're using keyword about donations, you don't necessarily want volunteers. So you wouldn't in the headline put volunteers here. You'd want to talk about specifically the keywords that are in your ad group. And that is how you can lose your account at the end if you don't have that 5% click-through rate. A reason why is because your ads aren't directing people to what they're searching for on Google. And an easy thing to do is make sure that your keywords are mentioned in the headline, and if not, in the description. This is going to be just an example, but I'll get into detail a little bit about keyword research and how you can find those keywords. You wouldn't want to do that. You'd want to go through 90, but I want to dive into the keyword research and how you can find those keywords because it's really important as you start to use the grant. So once you set this all up, your campaign is live. And like I mentioned, each campaign needs to have 2 ad groups, specific geo-targeting, 2 ads, and ad extensions. And these extensions can be found right here under ads and extensions, and you click extensions. And these extensions, I'll show you an example. This is what it looks like. And these are what Google requires you to have 2 for each ad group. And I'll go back to the example. These extensions are right here, and they all bring you to different parts of the website. And for this example, if you want to show an ad for donations, this is where you could highlight volunteer here or visit us here for more information, or let's see, explore opportunities here. And this is where you want to put your site link text and then a final URL. You can also add a description as well. And we do recommend, we've seen across the board, if you have a description and a good site link text, your click-through rate will be significantly improved. So I click cancel and show you a little bit about how to find these keywords. Hopefully I'm not going too fast, and like I said, at the end we can go through questions, and those who want to stay can stay for the whole time. But this is being recorded, and I will send it to those who are here. So a hard part about this is knowing, okay, what keywords should I rank for? What keywords are people looking for? And Google gives you an amazing free tool to use to find out what people are searching for. And you go to Tools, and you use Keyword Planner. And what this is a way to see all the data across the US, across the country, on what people are searching for on an average monthly basis, what the competition is like, so how many people are also ranking for that keyword, and then what people are paying for. And I think this tool is underutilized a lot, and if you know how to use it, you can really increase your click-through rate and donations, clicks, and all the above to your website. So for this example, I'm going to type in after school programs. I'm just going to use, if we were a nonprofit and we focused on after school programs for youth, I'm going to type in after school programs. Since we're located in Chicago, I want to target Chicago, and I'm going to get results. Refresh the page real quick. Go back to the keyword planner. After school program, get started, and we're in Chicago. You can always change it if you want to see different parts and different data across the country. And here we are. And to give you an example of a good keyword and a bad keyword, this keyword right here, before and after school programs. With the grant program, you can only rank for $2 and lower. And this tells you that you probably won't rank for a keyword because the top of the bid results, lowest is at $2, and at high, it's $6. So a good keyword necessarily would want to be a little bit lower than that. On the lower end would be, here, this is a good one. After school programs. What we typed in after school care would be 2 keywords that you could possibly rank for because it's under $2. And then you can go back and say, okay, how many people can I expect on average if our ads are running well and we've got site links and it's running to the correct pages, this is how many people are searching for each month within Chicago. So now we know, okay, there are 480 people searching for an after-school program. We really want to focus on this keyword and creating text on our website that would focus on after-school programs. What we see is the best results happen when you have text that matches the data and what people are searching for on your website will result in much better click-through rate and clicks to your website if you can match it with people searching for local terms that your organization focuses on. So not only is this tool helpful for AdWords, but it's also just helpful to know what people are searching for your nonprofit in your state, locally, or in the country. You can find out all that information here. And it shows you trends from last year to this year, what it looks like from mobile to a desktop. And the way you can see that is right here. So if you want to do the last 24 months of data, you go in here and go through and find out, okay, how many people are searching for after-school programs, and you can see all the information here. One thing I do want to mention, I believe I forgot to mention this, is setting up conversions and the importance of setting up conversions. With the grant program, you do have to set up conversions, and this is set up in the conversions tab. And what a conversion means is when someone clicks on your ad, and then let's say you want to track donations, right? You want to track the landing page of your donations. You set up a conversion called donations, and then now you know when someone clicks on your ad, goes to your website, fills out donations form or volunteer or whatever you want to track, maybe it's a specific web page you want to track, you know that that goal or action was completed, and that just counts for a conversion. I won't go into much detail about this, but if you do have questions at the end, I can help you. So we have about around 5 minutes left, and with the time being, I want to take any questions, and for those of you who want to stay for the questions, great. If not, no problem. We'll send you a copy of this and send you also some resources that we have on common questions we see, and also our guide for nonprofits that's just in a written format of what I went over today. So I'm going to look on the side here and see. Oh, if you missed most of the demo, no problem. We have this recorded and can show you, and we'll send it to you via video. What happens if you do not get a 5% click-through rate? Good question. So this question we do get a lot, and it does happen with certain accounts if they're not managed well. At the end of the month, Google will then review your account, and if you do not have a 5% click-through rate, in the first 2 months, you can get away with making subtle changes, but after 2 months, Google will review again and give you a notification saying your account has been deactivated. Once it's been deactivated, it's not a problem of getting it back. You just have to follow the steps that we went through right here, these basic rules. Make sure you've got specific geo-targeting. Make sure you have 2 ad groups, 2 site links, and go through the keywords that may be causing that click-through rate to not be there. Once you make all those changes, Google will review your account, and then we'll reinstate your account right back up. Can you estimate how much time, hours in a week it takes to maintain Google Ads successfully if you are a small nonprofit? Yeah, it really does depend on the success you want it. If you want to bring in 4 hours of work in the AdWords within each month, that can make a big difference. If it's 20 hours, your campaigns are going to see better results. It's totally something where the more time you put into it, the better results you'll see. There's also other factors outside of just setting up campaigns, setting up ad groups and keywords. It's optimizing your website, making sure you've got keywords set up that are properly going to your website, that match your website, and a bunch of other reasons. But it totally depends on the nonprofit and how much time you do have. Do we need to keep a certain rate for conversions or just click-through rate? I believe it is just click-through rate, and at the end of the month, it's that 5% conversions. If you're not meeting conversions, your account won't be suspended, but if it's under 5% click-through rate, then your account does get suspended. Why is Google motivated to do this for nonprofits? I think Google, I am unsure. I believe Google wants to see nonprofits succeed, and this is a really great way that they feel they can give back and give nonprofits the opportunity to apply for this program and get people who are interested in causes and get them involved with different nonprofits. Any other questions? Feel free to ask anything. There's no dumb questions when it relates to this because I did go by fast and there's so much out there. The cost per click limit to $2. So what is the cost per click limit? Let me explain that in this view right here. So when you type in running shoes, all of these people, Finish Line, Under Armour, and Zappos, are bidding for this keyword. So these people could be paying upwards to $100 per keyword. It really just depends on what the search volume is. But with the grant, it limits you to the $2. So that is why you'd want to use the keyword planner and find out what keywords we can potentially rank for and what the data shows we could rank for if it's $1 or between $1 and $2. Sometimes you can rank if it's higher than that, but it can be more difficult. So to go back here, if running shoes, Zappos is potentially paying a lot more because they're showing up first. Hope that explains it a little bit. Can we direct people to our Facebook page, not website? It has to be under the same domain. So all of these ads you make within the ad group and the ads itself, I'm going to go back to overview. I think I lost my spot. But within the domain of your page or your website, you can't link back to, let's say, Facebook. It has to be under the same domain. And that goes for the ad groups. So within the ad groups, all of those ads you make within the ad group have to have the same landing page and the same domain. You can't run it to a completely different website or a different page within the ad group. And that's why we recommend setting up different campaigns for donations, volunteers, and targeting those keywords, and then creating multiple ad groups, testing different pages for those ads. Well, our time is up right now, and if there's no more questions, I'm going to just close us out. Again, I really appreciate the time you took to listen, and I hope it was beneficial. I'll be saying this again to those who attended. If you're interested in learning more or just general questions about the grant, we've got tons of resources we can give you. I'm happy to talk with you about your grant, about receiving it, or any questions you have about click-through rate, conversions, keywords. I went over at a pretty high level and pretty fast, but there's a lot more that I can go into, and I'd love to talk. So again, reach us at info@projectworldimpact.com, and by phone, you can give us a call at 630-480-2803. We'd be happy to talk and listen to you and see if we can help you. Thanks again, everyone, for listening.